Welcome to Blake Street Banter, where one of us knows what the word banter means. The other one is finally here. Everybody clap. Everybody take a little moment and clap for James for being here. Yay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for being here. Everybody say hi to James. James, say hi to everybody.
Yes, hello.
How you been? What's good?
Just living the dream.
All right, cool.
That's how good it's
been. That's where we're at right now. It is the middle of winter in the Midwest for both of us, and so it's kind of kicking our butt right now, and that's fine. And the Rockies are Rockies-ing and not doing anything whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like, is there a more boring team this offseason than the Colorado Rockies?
No, absolutely not. If you're a fan, like, this is a good time to just take a break. You know, like I've kind of just shut it off, and that's like, it's cool. You know, don't ever have to think about them. You don't have to do anything. It's because they're never in the news about doing pretty much anything. But that's not a bad thing, because when they are in the news and they sign some big name or blah, 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 it typically doesn't work out. So, you know, I don't really know how to feel about that. But it is what it is.
And that's where we're going to get into that. The New Year's resolutions. Isaac, what up, big dog? Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for the topic ideas. Isaac is part of the BSB team, and honestly, we would not be doing this pod without him right now, because the two ideas that we have in play are Isaac's ideas. So thank you for that. And before we get into all of it, make sure you rate, subscribe, follow us, share it with your mama. We are your mama's favorite podcast that she just doesn't know about yet. So the more you share our podcast, our information, or whatever with your people, the more subscribers, the more rates, the more followers, and possibly the more attention that we get. And
if there's anything I know about moms, it's that they love obscure baseball podcasts
about the Colorado Rockies, specifically the minor leagues, specifically Fresno.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, mamas love that.
Yes, moms love Fresno. We all know that.
Yes. Ooh, t-shirt. That's a t-shirt idea. Mark that down. Isaac, put that in the notes. Moms love Fresno. So please do that, and it really does help the algorithm if you go rate us on Apple Podcast or Spotify, or subscribe to the YouTube, because if you are listening on Twitter, which it looks like two of you are, we will be probably removing our Twitter live streams once the season starts and going to the YouTube and doing everything on YouTube to build up that platform to hopefully bring in some cash money, dollar bills, y'all, for the team. I don't want any money. James doesn't want any money. We want to just pay our guys like Isaac and help support the guys that spend time doing this for fun with us as we do this for fun.
Because when we started this during COVID, we said, let's do it all for the algo.
That's a t-shirt idea.
Let's get that algo going.
Do it for the algo. If you're not doing it for the algo, what are you doing it for?
The algo.
The algo. So help us build the algo finally after 5 years, and let's take it to the moon. So with that being said, let's get into it. Real quick before we get to New Year's resolutions, what do you think about B-Rod being connected with the New York Yankees? Is that a good fit for him? Are we happy with that? Do we care? Where are you at?
Well, I mean, I like B-Rod as a player, I like him as a person. I don't see him as a good fit for the Yankees. I mean, they're a perennial contender. B-Rod is above average defensively. He's a good average hitter, but he's not somebody that hits for power. So, I mean, it doesn't make a ton of sense, especially in today's game for me. If it ends up happening for him, good. He's going to have to shave that nice beard he's got going.
It's going to be tough to see that.
Yeah, no judgment, but I don't really see it as a good fit for the Yanks. That would be an amazing upgrade for B-Rod. There's no doubt about that. So, sure is kind of all I can say.
Right, they lost Gleyber Torres to free agency / the Tigers, so they were in search of a second baseman. They are in search of a second baseman. I'm not sure if B-Rod's really an upgrade to Gleyber.
No, he's not an upgrade.
It might be equal if we have a healthy B-Rod for an entire season. I would say they're probably pretty equal. B-Rod with a little less pop than Gleyber, but the defense is much better than Gleyber. So we're kind of giving this to take that. And if we watch the Yankees in the World Series, the defense is important.
Right. It's a depth piece. It's somebody that's going to play defense, and he's going to push that guy that they actually want to be the second baseman. It's kind of what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just a competitive depth move. I don't see him as the everyday second baseman. I don't want to eat those words later, but that's how I see it right now.
That's interesting. Yeah. Tune in tomorrow for the NL Best of the West podcast with Skylar and Kenneth, where I'm sure they'll touch base a little bit on the B-Rod move for sure. Yeah, Christian, that might be a good way to what James was just saying. Thank you for jumping into the chat, big dog. Brendan Rodgers would be the Yankees' Kyle Farmer. And fun fact, we're going to get to Kyle Farmer later, so stick around for that. It'd be interesting to see what Brendan Rodgers does. I want him to land on a good team with where he can actually produce and go do his thing and meet the potential that the Rockies weren't able to help him get to. Next up, did you know that the Rockies signed Estrada, but he hasn't officially been announced as being signed yet?
Yeah, I'd heard rumblings about that. And also, I did see that it was not officially announced. So, I don't know. It just seems like it's more front office fumbling, which is, again, par for the course. So, I don't know. It's not like Estrada moves the needle for me as a Rockies fan, right? It's right up there with Amarista or Jonathan Herrera.
Ninja.
It's not like something that moves the needle. So whatever.
It's agreed. Estrada's not making me get all excited for Colorado Rockies baseball in April, but it is interesting that they was called and it hasn't been announced yet. So a friendly Twitter follower guy, Meek Phil, fun name, sent an email to Mr. Dick Montfort about, hey, why isn't he signed? And the email reads, hey, Mr. Montfort, on December 10th, it was reported by numerous outlets that Thairo Estrada signed with your ball club and has still not been made official by the team. I'm reaching out to ask if there are any snags for what the holdup is to announce the free agent signing. Thank you. Notice there's no question mark, so maybe Dick was confused in his response when he just said no. I also found it interesting. It says sent from my iPad. If you recall, when we had our boy Kevin on, who sent the email about was it Roki? It was sent from his iPhone. So Dick can't make up his mind which Apple device he is using anymore. But is that anything? Or is that just Dick's answering no, there's no worries?
Dick was on the toilet and he was just working through his emails. I mean,
we all do it. We all do. It's the best time to go through it.
Right. I can't fault the guy. Like, he's just trying to get business out of the way. Like, he's just trying to get through his to-do list.
Doing business while doing business.
Doing business while doing
T-shirt idea.
I mean, I don't.
This is where we're at.
So many worse things I could say than that. So, like, the best case scenario is Dick was taking a poop. And just got it out of his list. The worst case scenario is he doesn't care anymore and never really did. So I don't know. You take it how you want.
And for legal reasons, we cannot confirm nor deny that Mr. Dick Montfort responds to emails on the pooper.
Not sure. Just logical conclusions here.
Putting it out there. It might be a thing. Might not. We don't know. But thank you, Phil, for doing the dirty work and asking about Thairo Estrada.
Thank you, Dick, for doing the dirty work of responding.
From the iPad, from the iPhone. So that's your update for the Colorado Rockies offseason the last 3 weeks. We are back after a hiatus of Christmas break, New Year's Eve. Hopefully you all enjoyed your celebration, so to speak. New Year's Eve continues to be the most overrated holiday of all time. Did you make it till midnight?
Absolutely not.
Nobody makes it till midnight. There's nothing good on TV. It's super irritating. Nobody wants to stay up that late.
Yeah, it's an inconvenience now. Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn. And we are in the wrong side of 30s. So if you are listening, that's where we're at. But if you're a mom and you made it to New Year's Eve,
and you love Fresno,
and you love Fresno,
odd for you.
Yeah, good. This is it. So New Year's resolutions, since I don't remember the last time I actually made a New Year's resolution for myself. I don't think I need the new year to reset myself. I just like to reset myself when I feel like I need to, or when my wife just gets mad at me and tells me to.
I like to just breathe for a second.
Yeah, and that's when I can resolute, so to speak. So let's just go back and forth and let's just riff off of some New Year's resolutions that we have going on. I'll let my son go first. I asked him, what is the Colorado Rockies New Year's resolution that he wants to have happen. And he said they should go out there and trade for Paul Skeens.
Paul Skins or Paul Skins?
Voice to text is terrible. The voice to text, like
Paul Skins.
it doesn't do very well. Paul Skins. Your creative player, MLB 2025 All-Star, Paul Skins, should be on the Colorado Rockies New Year's resolution list. But I actually like that idea. Like the Colorado Rockies need to go make a big splash, a big trade for a starting pitcher, right? We're not signing free agents. We are this draft and develop team, yet we aren't creating the next wave of pitchers. We had Kyle Freeland in 2018. We had Marquez 18-19. I think he was all right in 21. But since that, we don't have like this top tier guy that we can just go rely on. We're hoping that Dollander is that guy. We're hoping that Sean Sullivan can be that guy. Gabe Hughes, etc. But the Rockies need to go get that guy. Go find somebody, trade some of your outfield prospects, make some money moves, and go bring in somebody. So I agree with my son. Colorado Rockies need to go bring in a starting pitcher via trade.
Yeah, and Paul has pitched the altitude, Colorado Springs. So
yeah, he gets it.
Yeah, he totally gets it. So I don't think the Pirates are going to give him up though. So maybe we'll try to move on from that.
Just a starting pitching, a top tier starting pitcher that's going to come in and do work.
Sure. I don't disagree with that. I just don't.
No, New Year's resolutions, good vibes, good year.
Okay. Yeah, go get one. Find a way.
What up, Grant? Thanks for hanging out. Sean, of course, as always, go Goats. All right, James, what is your resolution?
Well, the first one I have is don't piss off your star players. So we'll go ahead and try to aim for that.
Who are we not pissing off this year?
Let's try not to piss off the Tovars and the Doyles of the world.
Okay.
And just give them a.
How do we not piss them off?
How do we not piss them off?
How do we not piss them off?
It's a good question. I don't know what makes those guys tick, but don't just don't make the mistakes you made with Tulo and Nato. It's pretty simple, I guess. Don't give false promises. Just be straight up, Colorado is what it is. So either you love it or you don't. If you don't, then fine. We'll help you out the door, but we won't give you the false promises of making a competitive team like we have with those guys. So
I think that would be a good New Year's resolution, a new thing to kind of push forward.
Just keep them happy.
Yeah, just keep the people happy. Keep the players happy.
Whatever that means. We did with Charlie. It can be done.
It can be done. Exactly. As long as we're okay with nope, not gonna say it. To the Twitter. This is from our guy Brian, MTNV baseball fanatic. Have 5 guys with 20+ home runs and 2 pitchers with 10+ wins. Are you buying that?
I mean, that would be the dream scenario. I guess my question would be, those guys that are hitting 20 bombs, what's their batting average? Because if you're hitting 220 bombs, which I could see a Mike Toglia doing very easily, that's all good and fine, but I don't know.
I think it's okay.
Yeah, it would be fine. I don't
know.
I'm so traditional in my baseball thought that like a guy that hits 225 and 20 bombs, like to me, I understand the analytical standpoint that's valuable, but to me as a baseball watcher, like it's not fun to watch all that much. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah, because it's a three true outcomes, and Tovar's a little bit like that with his free swinging, but he can get you 20 bombs. Doyle can get you 20, 25, but his batting average is a little bit better. I agree. It's like 20 home runs here is much different than 20 home runs over there.
And I love watching a tense at bat where I know a guy has a really good chance of getting a hit versus being down 8-2, nobody on, and somebody hits a solo shot, right?
Give me a Michael Brantley at bat any day of the week.
Yes, exactly.
100%.
Exactly. And I want to see a guy go 11 pitches into an at bat.
That would be. Give me a Chuck Blackman. I think he's kind of the only one that really had those battles last year. We need somebody to step up. New Year's resolution. Somebody who can battle, have an at bat that you are fighting through to get your pitch.
Yeah,
not
like
just going up there swinging.
like let's have some batter's eyes up there. Let's not just
Let's battle, bam,
three
bam. Let's
outcome
battle, bam, bam.
three outcomes. Like it's just not fun to watch to me. But
Nope.
again, maybe I'm just grouchy. I don't know.
We are grouchy. Give me a New Year's resolution.
Let's give Mike Tolley a better nickname.
Please, can we put that at the top of our list?
Big Mike is not
Big
cutting
Mike is
it for
lazy.
any of us.
I feel like I was the only one that was feeling very anti Big Mike.
No,
then I heard that it was kind of
lazy.
given through the dugout, so there's some leeway there. I thought it was a Spilly thing, which is even more annoying. Like,
how do you feel about Spilly?
I'm very zero on it on Spilly.
I mean, there's a lot more potential there than just Big Mike.
There's so much. You got Tolia. Like, there's such a sweet name.
You got Togs. You got all types of different spins you can put on it here.
McToast.
So let's do something, a Tolia party, like something.
Tolia party.
Something better than Big Mike, right?
What about Magic Mike by Mikey Westside here?
It's better than Big Mike.
It is better than Big Mike. It's a little controversial. Could get the mamas get going.
I feel like it's a good, like we're workshopping right now. Like it's a good workshop. Let's keep going.
If you're listening, leave us a review with a Big Mike rebrand.
Yes, it's there. It's right. It's right there. We just
need to something here. There is something here. Evan Lang, if you're listening, you're the nickname guy. Go ahead and give us a nickname for Big Mike. It needs to change. Going back to the Twitter New Year's resolution, Aaron, I'd be super pumped to play 500 ball. Yes, I would love that. I think we would all love that. The over-under was set at 60.5. So we're looking at another 100 last season, according to the bookmakers, 3 in a row. So New Year's resolution. Do we get a month of 500 ball? Maybe that's a good resolution to adjust.
Yes, April and May historically are always very good for the Rockies. April and May. I guarantee you, we could either come out storming hot, play really good baseball in May, and then June, July, August is just a complete
dumpster.
Yes.
Agreed. All right. Pachyderm, I hope the Rocks are resolved to finding 2 solid new pieces in the starting rotation in 25. Going back to my son's resolution, that's kind of right in there. I like that one. Having one of Palmquist, Feltner repeating what he did last year, Dolander, Sullivan, anybody else coming up, and just solidifying them to be the Freeland Marquez of the future.
Right. I think the finding part of that is call-ups. Like that's how you're going to find it, is just finding somebody that gets called up and you realize, oh, wow, okay, they have that dog in them kind of thing. It's not going to be somebody you sign off the free agent or trade for anybody. We're just not going to do that. The Rockies never have, or when they have, it's been a failure. So, they're reluctant to do that kind of stuff again. So it's going to be a call-up type situation. And again, I'm really excited for probably the month of May when
we're going to get some call-ups.
Yeah, those call-ups will happen. Of course, you never want to see a guy get injured, but with pitching, people get obliques, they get forearms, they get all kinds of stuff. So call-ups are going to happen, and that's the time where you just let them out and like, okay, go get it, kid. Pat him on the butt and say, have at it.
And hopefully Bud lets that happen, lets that leash go. Feel like they did our guy Noah Davis a little dirty, not giving him that full opportunity, 3, 4, 5 starts to figure it out. They did Carl Kaufman a little bit dirty. I don't know. It just feels like the leash has been short with some of these guys. Tanner Gordon had 3 starts before he was sent back down. Bradley Blaylock finished the season with 3 or 4 starts. Like, it's not like, hey, we trust you. You're going to be part of this rotation. Go get it. I want them to give Chase Dolander 15, 20 starts on this season. Give Carson Palmquist 15, 20 starts. See what you have in these guys instead of, hey, you get 3 starts, you're going to go back down to AAA and then come back for 2 starts. Hey, but we don't know if we really want to do this, so you're going to go back down, blah, blah, blah. It's just frustrating. Yeah. Let the guys eat. You got dogs. Let them be dogs.
Yes. Bud is notorious for giving preference to experience versus anything else. So if you have a guy that has a 5 ERA, but he has 30 starts in the major leagues, he'd rather start that guy than the person that has a 2.5 in AA, like, to give him a chance, right? So I don't really know what else to say about that. have nothing but negative things to say, so I'll just
let's just move on. We got Zachary R in the chat here. Thank you on the YouTube chat. If you are listening, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube. I know we said at the beginning, but you probably weren't listening then. You are now. Go to the YouTube, go ahead and subscribe and follow along with us there. Resolution, Zachary, develop an identity of a sandlot bunch of misfits that no one wants to play against. Give Coors a positive identity. And I actually kind of like this because this is kind of what Grant said in the Twitter. Need Bud to piss on KB's contract and snap him out of acting like Roger Dorn. They need some motto or saying that lights a fire. Want to see savages on the field who know they are balling out daily for each other, make it to the postseason, make it epic, shock the world. I think we've talked about this in the past, you and I, like the Jordan Beck factor.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's the first person that comes to mind.
Right? The Kyle Freeland on the mound intensity, like. Get rid of some of the nice guy. Give me Jake Cave yelling at the umpire about Teoscar Hernandez check swing every single day. Give me he became an icon last year. The pitcher left. Give me Cal Cantrell coming at jacking off in the parking lot vibe. Like, give me that kind of fire. Give me the Bryce Harper for the Colorado Rockies.
No, like, exactly. But see, you only
fire. Love that.
You only get that when you start the young guys. And again, it just goes back to what we just said. Like, Bud's not going to do that kind of stuff. Like, he just doesn't play that game. So I don't know. Yes, I would love it too. I would love it. I'm not betting on it.
No, but this is New Year's resolution, James. Like, okay, this is refresh, rebrand, a new year, a new Bud. This could be new Bud. Maybe Bud's listening. Maybe Bud. He's not. God, I hope he's not. Bud, if you are listening, apologize. Love you. I really do respect everything you do.
Yes, love you. Respect everything you've done. Just let it go, buddy.
Just let the boys eat.
Just let the dogs eat.
Let the dogs eat. So I like that. One of mine, I'm actually going to steal from yours, is have a support group for the Arm Barn. That was a good one. I like that one. We have been tracking bullpen implosions for a while. It's in the Twitter. It's in our Twitter bio. I think it was, or it still is.
Still should be, and it's something we need to be doing again.
We need to bring that back. Bullpen implosion tracker 2025. We'll get one of the new guys on the tracker. So if you're listening, graphic guy, go ahead and put that on your to-do list. It's just hard being a bullpen pitching for Bud, pitching at Coors, pitching and all of it. Like, you never know what's going to happen. So
it's a mental thing for sure.
And right on top of that, lock down a long-term closer. Thank you, Christian. DMDR podcast. I love it. You have some candidates and they're going to go through it. Seth Halverson's going to give up a bomb. I guarantee it. Victor Vodnik's going to give up something that shouldn't have been given up. Jaden Hill is going to struggle. Luis Peralta is going to go through it. But every single one of those four guys can easily be a lockdown closer, long-term closer. You got Kinley being the experienced guy out there. It's there. So let's have a support group. I love Justin Lawrence. I love what he is. That mental piece that he's gone through over the last few years, let him be the support guy, leading the circle to get through these tough times at his altitude.
Well, Justin's an interesting guy because I love him to death, but you could tell that like nobody ever do this, but the negative DMs and stuff after blown saves, like that gets to guys, even when you're a professional athlete and all of that. And Lawrence took that stuff to heart, even though, I think he tried to play it off like he didn't, but like he cares a lot. And honestly, at the end of the day, I'd rather have a guy that cares versus the guy that doesn't, right? So,
And I think that's
we need a support group. We need a mental health counselor out there at all times. And
just hanging out.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. Let's put that on the shirt.
Let's let the emotion fly. Let's talk it out.
Let's get through it. Let's show the fire. Let's be in our feelings. Let's put it all together. Let's go win some games.
Exactly.
All right, one more each.
Okay. I don't know. I got a couple I could go with. I don't know. I really think that we need to find a way to get Bryce Harper on the squad.
Ooh,
He
speaking of fire, yes.
Yeah, he called the organization a joke, so I can't find a better way to repay him than to somehow find him on our squad, uh, preferably at first base. But he can play wherever he wants. It's
He can
to
do it
him,
all.
it's just a big joke, so he can play wherever he'd like. He wants to
Imagine
pitch,
if
he can pitch. He can catch, whatever.
the Rockies offer him 35 million for 2 years, 35 million each year, 70 million for 2 years to end his career in Coors. Does he accept? He already, let's say he has his World Series. Let's say he has another MVP. Let's say he has all the accolades. He has the Chris Bryant cabinet. Does he come to Coors in his 39, 40-year season?
I only
for
have one
70
question.
million?
I only have one question. Does he like to fish?
I don't think so. I don't think he's a fisherman. Vegas
Does he like
kid.
to hike? Does he like to snowboard, ski?
I think he's a city cat. He might be a homebody. I bet he's very calm inside
Homebody
his
could
four
work.
walls.
Homebody could work.
Homebody.
Denver's him sitting by a fire drinking a toddy.
Definitely hot toddy. And the Rockies gift him a clown mug. We'll sign you for 70 million and this clown mug if you come hang out for 2 years.
Yeah, I think it could work.
Yeah. So Bryce, I know you're listening. Bryce's mom, if you're listening, go ahead and put that in his ear for us. One of my last one. I'm stealing one of yours because I wrote something, but it didn't make any sense. Put up a dumb to neglect altitude. I don't know what that means. Speech to text sucks.
You're old. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
Dedicate 2025 to finding out what a competitive rebuild means. I like that one. That's something I would have said if I had time to think about it. We're letting the young kids play, right? So let them go play. Like going back to 25 starts for Dolander, Palmquist, getting rid of Estrada when he officially is announced in July to let Amador come eat, let Ryan Ritter come eat. Ryan Mack, love you to death. Great guy, fantastic person. Might be time to trade you at the deadline and bring up a Kyle Karros, Ryan Ritter to play third and start pushing these guys a little bit. We're loaded with the outfield. I kind of want a revolving door with the outfielders. Give me Zach Veen, Jordan Beck, Yankiel Fernandez, Greg Jones, Sean Bouchard. Give me all these guys all the way through to figure out what is in the rebuild so we can go be badasses in 2027.
No, exactly. You don't know what you have till you let them go out there, right? So why are we preventing that? And that's been something you and I have talked about for the last 4 years. It's just like, why are we not letting these people play when you're not being competitive? So figure out what a competitive rebuild actually looks like. And that means actually trading your valuable pieces. We passed on Diaz when he was at his most valuable. We passed on McMahon. Maybe he's going to be more valuable again. I don't know, but it's just like Trevor Story, John Gray.
Just keep going. Just keep going.
Yeah, I mean, like seriously, they just every time we have a valuable piece and we're not being competitive, and we already know we're never going to be competitive in that season. They just say, "Oh well, the chips weren't good enough." Blah blah blah. They are good enough. You have young guys that can play a little bit, so offload them, get a piece. If it doesn't work out, so be it. But you just letting these most valuable pieces fade into the darkness isn't going to help either. So at least try to pretend like you're trying to be competitive. Try.
Pretend to be competitive. I like that. Put that on a t-shirt. T-shirt for number 4.
I'm getting riled up. I'm getting riled up.
I feel the passion. I feel the fire. I love it. While you're riled up, have you ever tried Rocky Mountain oysters?
No, I have not, but my grandfather would eat them every Christmas, so good for him.
Patrick Lyons. I've still never tried Rocky Mountain oysters, but I will not add that to my New Year's resolutions. I had once when I was a kid at the old stomping ground. What was the one in Ogallala where they had the show, old timey show?
Front Street.
I had them at Front Street when I was like a teenager. So
everybody's gonna know that Front Street. Colorado, Nebraska. You're welcome.
Yep. Go check out Front Street, then make your way to Paxton, go to Ollie's. It's just a fantastic family event for everybody involved. Only
Todd
thing to do in Western Nebraska.
There, I think.
Yeah, I think he has land.
That's a rumor. I don't know.
That was the rumor when we were in high school, so it's probably there.
It's good enough for Todd Helton. It's good enough for you.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Ollie's, Paxton, Nebraska.
Patrick Lyons. James, you're supposed to roast chestnuts on Chris and not eat bull nuts. Different folks, different strokes or whatever, right?
Yep. Western Nebraska. It's a different environment, baby.
That's a whole different world. All right, let's look back at 2015. So top prospects. We all know the Rockies are a draft and development organization, but how much have they
very
drafted
good
and
at it.
developed?
Yeah,
As Brooks Gate, who is the most fun fact Twitter account out there. Sometimes he messes up, but he likes to dog on the Rockies, or the Rockies are just the Rockies when it happens. So he put out there like the combined war for draft picks by the Rockies since 2020 is like 9.2 or something. So it's bad, right? So let's look back 10 years ago to what our top 30 prospects were. And if we have any of those guys that had big wartime then, that can be that guy this year, right? So like, for example, just to get into it, the number one prospect in 2015 was John Gray. He has a career 21.1 F WAR. As we get into this, all the WAR is F WAR, so I don't have to keep saying the letter F. My mama doesn't like that. I'm sure your mama doesn't like that either. So go ahead and tell her that when you suggest our podcast to
F
her that
is
we don't
for
like to cuss.
Fresno for the moms.
Ooh, put it on the t-shirt. So 21.1 F WAR for John Gray in his career. He's still in Texas, still doing pretty well. Like, I would not be mad if he was still at the Colorado Rockies to this day.
He's pretty good.
Looking at the top prospect right now, Chase Dollander. Does Chase Dollander match a John Gray career-wise in the F WAR?
I'm going to say yes.
I think I agree.
I'm going to say yes.
And
I'm
so
excited.
it's like, if you're not excited,
I'm ready to go.
If you're not excited about Chase Dollander, I need you to go listen to a Padres podcast, because that's an S show over there. Did you see that? Did you see the owners? So the owner passed away, right? Rest in peace. His wife is suing the front office cats for negligence and fraud and stuff.
Okay. No part of that.
Yeah, I'm sure the boys on Best of the West will get to it tomorrow. So that's a fun little thing. We could be Padres fans.
Okay. Just keep it going.
Right. So Chase Dollander, John Gray. I think we both agree that Chase Dollander will surpass John Gray in WAR. At least we need the Rockies too, right?
Yeah.
However, the second, oh my gosh, where's my list? The second prospect in the top 30, let me get it together, was Eddie Butler. And I remember you and I talking 10 years ago about Eddie Butler and being excited about Eddie Butler.
Very excited.
He ended his career with a negative 0.6 WAR.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so this is where prospects are, right? We talk about it all the time, 50-50 shot of him being good, being bad. If the Rockies really want to be competitive, they need these 7 and below type prospects to do work, right? They need these guys to come to fruition, because you can take your crapshoot. Top 5 right now: Charlie Condon, Chase Dollander, Zach Veen, Yanquiel Fernandez, Adel Amador, Brody Brecht, and Cole Carrick.
Yes.
You can probably count on 4 of those of being a major league caliber player, right?
I would hope so. Yes.
Right. So looking back at the 2015 WAR, who stands out to you as somebody that was like a for sure thing that didn't quite pan out?
A for sure thing. I don't know if that's ever been in existence for the Rockies.
But like, as much as something can be a sure thing in prospect world. Going back to what Christian said, Kyle, I'll help you, and then you'll bring in your thing. Kyle Parker, right?
I have a name, I just don't want to say it.
Kyle Parker, first round pick, 2010.
Yes. Nice.
Like, we were all excited. The athletic cat. I think he was a dual sport cat.
Yes, he was a quarterback, and you and I watched him at the College World Series.
Yeah, he was awesome, right? He was great.
Yes.
Didn't pan out. Negative 1.1 WAR across 64 games. First round draft pick.
Pretty rough.
Didn't pan out. That could be a Sterling Thompson. That could be a Benny Montgomery. That could be, just looking at first round picks, a Zach Veen. It could be like that. And so that sucks.
Yeah, I have some thoughts about that. Benny's worried me for a while.
Need him stay healthy.
Veen, Same thing. Kind of needs to stay healthy, right? Still has that potential though, so I'm not gonna write anybody off, Benny included. Veen, but like this is Veen's like chance to compete, right? So let's see what spring training has and let him have at it.
Agreed.
I don't know the Eddie Butler comparison though. Like I'm trying to think about pitchers. I don't know. It's tough. Pitching prospects are really hard because you never know what you're going to get, especially when they get to Coors Field, right? Hughes is somebody that I was really high on. I'm still high on him, but I was shocked to see the other day the 30 prospects, and he wasn't on it. And
he's on it. He's just down the line. He's number 22 right now.
Okay. Excuse me. I must have missed
That's your 2022 first round draft pick moving down to number 22 on the top 30. TJ will do that. I don't know if that's definitely not his fault because he was shoving before TJ when he had it. But that worries them, right? Like to your point, that TJ, that history, like how are you able to bounce back? Are you able to come back and be that number one prospect that we expected you to be? Like that's tough. That's a lot of pressure.
Well, it's a lot of pressure, but then when you think about prospects and like somebody gets hurt for a minute, then all of a sudden like they're not on the list or they've dropped 10 spots or whatever the case is, and we know that's not really the case. So prospect lists, like they're just not that accurate, to be honest. And then like somebody comes out of the woodwork, so to speak. They come out of nowhere and they're really good for some reason. But again, you never know what you have until you actually let them play. Tyler Matzik comes to mind. Remember, he's a number one prospect, and then he quit baseball, and then he comes back, and then Colorado lets him play, and he pitches a fantastic game against the Dodgers in Coors Field, loses it after that. I can't remember if he quit baseball again after that point, but then somehow shifts to Atlanta, and he was an amazing reliever during their playoff season. Yep. And he's still really good. He got hurt, but it's just so crazy. Like like there's nothing you can put on paper. Like you can look and be like, oh, 30 prospect this, blah, blah, blah. It's just I don't know how to say this. You don't know what it is until you put it on the field. And right. I love Buddy to death, but again, like these guys aren't going to play.
Right. Like we can look at our guys like Coco, Shunk did work in the minors. Absolutely earned every stop. Hunter Stovall should have had a shot last year, and they're just getting shoved to the side.
And I remember Goodman, who can obviously play multiple positions, plays catcher, had 3 home runs in 3 games at one point, and then you don't see him for 2 weeks, and it's like, what are we doing?
It's very frustrating. It's letting them play, right? Like,
well, it's not only that, but like you don't see this guy who has potential, and we're on track to lose 100 games again. Like, it's just like, okay, then why are we putting out this guy that we already know what the known quantity is, versus just letting young guys play? We're headed towards 100 losses. Like, what are you stopping?
Right?
What are you preventing? I don't understand what you're gaining from not letting this happen.
To that point, of the top 10 prospects for the Colorado Rockies right now in this year, we realistically could see 8 of them in the majors this year. Take out Robert Kalaz, he's just too far away, and Brody Brecht, who was just drafted, is working on being on some of his mechanics and all that. But we could possibly see Charlie Condon at the end of the year. We should. First round draft pick, high pedigree all the way through. Chase, Zach, Yank, Adele, Cole Carey, Drew Romo, Sean Sullivan. Like, there's 8 possible prospects that should begin some kind of playing time in purple all the way through. Like when you had Trevor Story was the number 13th prospect for the Colorado Rockies of 2015, 23.8 WAR. Antonio Senzatela, number 12, 8.9 FWAR. You had a dog in Tyler Anderson, who wasn't really a dog, but is a dog somehow, some way. But
no, he was so savvy. Like Anderson didn't blow anybody away, but he was so savvy, and he still is. And like watching him pitch, and he pitched really well for the Angels this year. And like watching things like that just go by because you just said, no thanks, is ridiculous. Like, you have to have an eye for not only talent, but some savviness, some IQ. There's other intangibles other than experience. And that's all that we kind of care about at the moment is, have you had a lot of experience? Yeah. Is that experience successful? Well, no, not really, but okay, but you have the experience. So we'll play you over a guy that has savvy, intelligence, potential, X, Y, and Z. So anyway, I'm going to get off that.
You're on your soapbox.
Yeah.
I
You
like
know what I'm getting at here. So
yeah. And like, tell me if you've heard of this guy, Ryan Gonzalez, Corel Prime.
Corel Prime, definitely. I remember Corel Prime.
You do?
Yes, I do. Corel Prime was a first baseman. I do remember he did play with the Rockies for a little bit.
He never made the majors.
I do remember watching him as a prospect, though, and that's back when we had the Colorado Springs Sky Sox. And I was really excited for him to move up there, but it just never came to fruition for whatever reason.
Yep, never made it past AA through his years, and he was the where did my list go? Number 18 prospect.
Yes, yeah,
at the time.
I remember that. Yes.
Kevin Padlow, -0.8 WAR all the way through. He was a top 15.
Christian Adames. Wow.
Christian Adames, -0.9 WAR. I remember his name debuted in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Yairo Diaz was huge in 2020, 2021 for us. He was fun, but only 3 seasons.
Yes.
Wes Rogers, Yohinda Jimena, Helmus Rodriguez. Helmus and Wes never made it past high A. Max George never debuted, stopped playing baseball in 2022 from Colorado, never made it. He was a top 25 prospect back in 2015. But like, then you have guys like Scott Oberg, who is forever going to go down in history now with the Colorado Rockies. Welcome. Congrats on the job, friend of the pod. 2.3 WAR across 5 seasons, but he was the guy that postseason, and every Colorado Rockies fan is going to remember Scott Oberg. And so like, you're going to,
and honestly, like, to start his career, like, he really wasn't all that good. He really wasn't, but he put it together, and again, through some time and some patience, like, it paid off.
So like, why does a guy like Scott Oberg get a little bit longer leash than a Tyler Anderson, so to speak? I think the leash was probably about the same, but like maybe like a Sam Mole who debuted in 2017 with Oakland. Yeah. Like, what is it about Scott Oberg that was different than Sam Mole to be that guy?
That's a really good question. It's a really good question. I mean, scouting in the front office must have just like seen something different. You know, the analytics department, I don't know if you know anything about the Rockies analytics department, but it's very vast and well developed.
So very tech savvy.
Correct. So
button pushers,
when they're not, sorry, I'm not going to say what I want to say.
Can put up lines. Yeah. Like they can. Yeah, they're good.
Somebody in analytics saw something and they said yes.
Right.
That's why.
And it was probably Billy back then. I think he was part of the organization and selling, hey Dick, this is what we're doing. I do like what Billy's been doing as the head of development. It says almost, Patrick Lyons from Rockies Insider, great podcast, great follow. It's almost as if players ranked 20 plus really contribute much to the big league club. And I agree with that. Like, it's very rare where somebody goes that far back, but like, if that's the case, we're screwed because Gabe Hughes is ranked number 22. So our first round draft pick from 2 years ago is now a 20-ish prospect who, and history says, is not going to produce at a major league level, which sucks. Like,
well, again, like, this all changes. It's all in flux. Like, just because this is what it is right now doesn't mean that's what it's going to be in June or whatever the case might be. So, you know, again, like, I love the prospect list because I like getting excited about it, but it's not something that you can like write in stone and be like, oh yeah, this guy's a surefire, blah, 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 or whatever. And relievers,
They're a dime a dozen.
Well, yes. I mean, they are the ones that you have the most kind of flexibility with coming up from double A or this or that or blah, blah, blah. Like you definitely have the most flexibility with relievers. Like you just throw them out there and you can see what you get. And if they give up some bombs or whatever, it's not going to be a huge deal. We've seen that time and time again. And that's fine. But it's so funny how that standard doesn't apply to position players at the same time.
Yep.
So it's just like if you're a reliever and you're outside the top 20, you still have a really good chance of making it at some point, at least for a couple innings here and there, because it's going to happen. I mean, think about Ben Bowden. Remember him?
Yeah, I do.
I don't remember ever seeing him in the top 15, but he made it for a little while at least, you know. So relievers kind of have they just have a different standard. So
yep,
that's why a Scott Oberg can be successful and a Sam Moll maybe isn't.
Yep, I like that analysis. Rosel Herrera, a top 10 prospect, negative 0.7 WAR.
Yes, I remember watching him come up, and I was super excited about him, and he never really played. And then he went and actually caught on with the Royals for a season or two. Obviously didn't do great, but he still played in the league. Like, that's
something.
That's
more something.
than I did. So,
yeah, I mean, some top names on this top 30 list in 2015. Then we'll end our time together. John Gray, number 1. Kyle Freeland was number 4. Rymack was number 5. Ramel Tapia, number 7. Tom Murphy, yes. Number 8. Cinzy, 12. Story, 13. Tyler Anderson. Yair Diaz was 20. And Scott Oberg was number 22. A lot of people loved him. Pat Valleca was number 26 on the top 30 list back then. Negative 1.7 WAR across his career, had a negative 0.7 when he went to Baltimore for 2 seasons. So it wasn't just the Rockies. It was just Pat Valleca, big league ball player, but not everybody, not what we turned out to be. And I don't know, it's just what the prospects are. I like kind of what to Patrick's point, like you see these top 50 prospect lists from guys, and like you have these top 100 prospect lists where some of those guys pan out, some of them don't. It's always fun, right? Rankings, baseball, people love rankings.
Trevor Story at 13 and then having the career he had and the way he started, like,
right. There's just something about players that you can just see. I don't know. There's something about the eye test and just being talented.
Yes.
So
I mean, like, these people are all really good ball players. Like, they're all fantastic. Really good. Like, it's just a matter of putting them out there and seeing what they put together on their body of work on a major league field for at least not a long time, but at least an extended period of time, and see what you got. And then whatever.
Let them be dogs, let them eat. That was the New Year's resolution. We will tell your mom about it. Have her email Bud Black and Mr. Dick Monfort about letting the dogs be dogs while they go through it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. If you are still listening, go ahead and rate, subscribe, review, 5 stars. Give us your New Year's resolution in the review there and see what we come up with. Or if you're listening, go to YouTube and leave a comment and we'll read it next time. But really, we are all about the algo right now, so help us out with the algo. If you are watching on Twitter still, we will not be doing Twitter once Spring Training hits, so go ahead and go subscribe to our YouTube, find us on your Apple Podcasts, your Spotify, and all of that. And in the meantime, go check out Blake Street Banter for all of our writing stuff. New guy Cam just released a history of Colorado Rockies numbers and how it's good and how it's bad. Never guess what the number 1 number in Colorado Rockies history is. It's been fun. Grant, thank you for hanging out with Patrick. Thank you for being here. Mikey Westside, appreciate you. And as always, go Rocks. Woo!
Let the prospects cook.